these kids, if they like to want to play, they can play out right outside. If any of the parents want to have it, we have a dedicated room, they can go there. Or if they want to play, they can play right around here because the community center, is closed today and there is no other event happening, so mashallah, this should be all Muslims from London around here. So if the kids want to have energy and they want to take out that energy, please bring them outside and they will be able to exert that energy. I really appreciate it. And going forward, I want to keep my program on schedule, although we are a little bit behind, but that's because of grace of Allah that we all are here together. And I want to invite the person who is behind all the concepts here. I want to invite President of North London Islamic Center. Please welcome Manzar Azizullah.
बच्चों के केवल बाहर लगवा रहा है तो उनकी स्विच के बाद
अस्सलामु अलैकुम brothers and sisters. Ramadan Mubarak. On behalf of NLIC, we welcome you to this fundraising dinner today. MashaAllah, we have a sold out event tonight and we are overwhelmed by your response. Thank you all for joining us. You are gathered here in this holy month of Ramadan for a great cause. A cause which is for Allah and will have a long-lasting impact on us and our generations to come. And all those who live and will live in this great city of Canada. Please hear me, listen to me, please quiet for a minute. North London Islamic Center is not just a mosque community center. It is not even being built as a national center. Although it will perform all these functions, it is something much more. It is an ever-expanding vision of a growing community which is strongly entrenched in the fabrics of the society as a whole. This community center will be catering and caring for the needs of everyone. It will symbolize our religion, peace and our unity, and what we are and what we together stand for. To reach this goal, we have a lot of steps to take. It will take time, effort, determination, perseverance, and active participation of the whole community. We will have to move very, very carefully, not to align ourselves with a particular group of people, but rather be all encompassing, welcoming everyone, be transparent in all aspects of our activities, treat everyone with respect, listen to all, take advice from all. He will then help and groom the next generation to shoulder the responsibilities of taking this center forward. We are not forever. When our term is over, we will have a smooth transition to the new board of directors. And inshallah, we will do it. We will not stay a day longer than our tenure. Our first AGM, annual general meeting, since renting this place will be held on 30th June 2019. We request you to attend and participate as well as we will be electing a new director. Inshallah, if any of you is interested in run for participation, we encourage you to put your name forward. At present, the first step is to pay back the money we borrowed and call this land in building ours. Today's fundraiser is the beginning of this journey. In a short while, Brother Rizwan Rashid will lay out the figures for you. In the end, all that I have to say is that no one is going to help us or help our children. No one is going to help us or our children if we do not help ourselves. Allah also helps those who struggle. Brothers and sisters, help us in building this center. For your sake, for our sake, for the sake of our generations to come. May Allah place barakah in this project and accept our efforts. Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate Mr. Mike for opening remarks. Inshallah, I will throw some little one, but I would like to say, because I'm hearing Sheikh Badar and all of them, and I really want to say congratulations. Congratulations to all of you today. In fact, you are the chosen one. Do you know that we have sold over 300 tickets, and there are a lot of people who committed to come in. In fact, I have received over 10 messages from brothers and sisters who really wanted to be here, but they couldn't. Because they were not the chosen ones. You are chosen ones. Because Allah Ta'ala has brought you at a special occasion, on a special day, to do something special. So I wanted to congratulate you today. And I wanted you to make sure that you will get the blessing of Allah today. Raise your hand if you say Ramadan is a month of blessing. Now, raise a little bit more if you can. Whatever you did. So it means you can raise more than what you did before. It is the same thing when we call upon blessing. We can reach it, but when we extend it deliberately, we can actually get more blessing. So tonight is your turn to reach out more so you can get more. And I wanted to start off with something special today, and that is for Mother's Day. I know we have a lot of moms here, so I want to congratulate all the moms. And I want to say special thanks. Remember, Rasulullah said, that the Jannah is under your mom's feet. And I have a very special 5 mothers in my life. My mom, my special mom. My mother-in-law, the person who gave me a special person. My daughters, my grandma, my nana, and last but not the least, mother of my children. So I wanted to have the happy Mother's Day with everybody. I love, respect, and adore all of the mothers. And then tonight, when you are donating, you can also donate on behalf of your mothers. And this donation will be the sadaqah jariyah, the sadaqah that will continuously bless them in this dunya and dunya afterwards. But let's start off with this. And I wanted to give them a little bit mothering and give you a little bit of explanation. But I wanted to give you the history of NLIC. So NLIC was actually conceived and discussed about 5 years ago. There were numerous meetings were held by the community. Most of the people get together, and we continuously have looked after all the aspects to bring additional mosques in the north center of London, so we can facilitate the growing population of London. So soon after NLC was actually formed in last year, with the help of one of the brothers, when we found this particular place, all of the community gathering was called up. We have asked everybody to come in and check out the building and facility and give us alhamdulillah, with a very positive response, we were able to gather this mosque with the help of one generous brother who actually gave us the donation, the interest-free loan, which has helped to pay off without any interest and gather this masjid. Now, soon after NLC formed and this purchase, doors were opened to the community and several events held subsequently. Alhamdulillah, Friday prayers on every Friday. We have worshippers from all over London. MashaAllah, even the very first Ramadan, we have a daily Tarawih held at NLC. For events, whether it was Eid al-Nabi, family get-together, give social interaction around, or even PCA, we have for the PCA debates. It represents the community welcomes the facility, and NLIC have a series of events planned and can be accessible through their calendars on their Facebook. And now you would be asking, how much it cost? How much it costs? So the building we're looking at the screen costed roughly about $230,000 to acquire. Again, it was one of the interest-free loans paid off by one of our generous community brother, which is we still owe to repayment. There are two main projects that we're looking forward to in order to complete on a very short. One of them is actually the roof. So the roof is in somewhat despair. We need to update that quickly, and that's about $8,000. And the second project is all of you who have visited NLC, you might have noticed we are missing a parking. We have done some of the research, and we're looking for a very low-cost, gradable parking, which is going to cost about $22,000. So I wanted to, we have further projects in order to get the wudu areas and an update of our bathrooms, and also facilitate a kitchen that will help us help hold the community events just like this. So in a nutshell, we have the building cost of roof repair, one of the projects, and the other project was a gravel parking. So about $260,000 we are looking. We have this what we are looking for. And Prophet Muhammad said, if you contribute, as it says, building a mosque for Allah, Allah will build a palace in Jannah. You do want to place palace in Jannah? Yes? Alhamdulillah. And I want to, most of us, we don't know what is right beside us, even if we are not benefited from the gifts of Allah. And if I wanted to demonstrate you in a 1-minute thing, help me. If you raise your right finger in front of you, just like this, raise your finger. Everybody. I'm talking to everybody. Raise your finger right here. And close your right eye. Close your right eye. No, the right eye. And try to move this finger until you don't see. And this is where the blind, open your both eyes and see where your finger is. It is right in front of you, but it's your blind spot. You can't see it. Allah Ta'ala has given you the gift of vision that it goes beyond all the way here. But there's more to it. Allah Ta'ala is protecting you while you've been sleeping. It means the blind spot is covered by Allah Ta'ala. As a Muslim, I know you will be donating, but there are different causes throughout the year within the amount you can afford today. We are asking you to donate your year-long charity to this mosque to make a meaningful impact. Your contribution will make an enormous impact on the lives of our Muslims here in London, London Islamic Center. And for that reason, I wanted to introduce Brother Sham Yusuf to stand up, and please again, come forward and join in, and please welcome Brother Ehsan Yusuf. You can turn the lights on. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Thank you everyone for coming. This is serious. So if you've got kids who are making noise, please tell them to be quiet. Or if they can't be quiet, you gotta take them out, because we've got money to raise, and unless we raise this money, this masjid isn't standing up. I'm going to start off with a quick story. I was in Somalia 3 years ago, and as I traveled to North Somalia, going from Hargeisa to Mandera and to all these places, the one thing that kept occurring amongst people was that amidst all the poverty that they were living in, amidst all the difficulties that they were living in, the one consistent thing that they remembered was Allah and His Messenger. There are Muslims in the world right now, the Rohingya, people living in places, certain places in India, and all around the world, who would be envious of living in Canada. They're persecuted for saying La ilaha illallah. They're persecuted for saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. They're persecuted for building mosques, and they're persecuted for their testification of faith. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity to live in a country, in a city, in a province, and in a place which has peace and tranquility for us. This is an absolutely important project for this community. We don't have a center in the north, but most importantly, ask anybody who's raising their children in this community, and ask anybody who's raised their children. I grew up in this community. How can you raise your children without a masjid? How can you raise your children without a masjid? How can you raise your family without a masjid? And for every single one of us, we have a certain identity. I'm Pakistani, right? My daughter, she's growing up here. She's got an identity that is native to her Pakistan, but it's native to her Canadian identity too. But what's the identity that I want my daughter to grow up with? I want her to be a Muslim. And you want your children to be Muslim. And the parents who came here years ago will attest to the fact of the difficulty of raising their children in this society. The difficulty of keeping your children attached to the idea of Islam and to the idea of being a Muslim. And so, the thing that protects us in these turbulent times is the mosque. It's a center like this, where your children will come every Friday for prayer. Well, they'll come every Saturday for programming that takes place. But none of this is possible unless you and I say that I'm going to pledge to build this place. Mother Uncle asked me if I would come and fundraise in the community. And I said, Bismillah. I said, Bismillah. Why? Because I don't think there's anything more noble for us than to build this masjid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, and who will lend unto Allah alone in goodness? Allah says in the Quran, who will lend unto Allah alone in goodness? And what kind of loan does Allah need who is self-subsisting and doesn't need anything from His creation? So then why does Allah say, who will lend unto Allah alone in goodness? Because that's what Allah is asking us to do. To give fi sabilillah so that He may multiply it for us, but also so that you think you're here for the masjid is here for you. You think, right, we all came here and we think we're here to fundraise for the masjid. Wallahi, that's not true, and Brother Rizwan said it best. You're honored to be here because Allah chose for you to be here. Allah gave you the opportunity to give and not somebody else. So if you're given the opportunity and Allah invites you and Allah asks you for a loan, are you going to say no? If Allah invites you and He says come, and He says in the Quran, give unto me a loan in goodness, are you going to say no? Are you going to say no? Who in this room will put their hand up and say, I will say no when Allah says give unto me in goodness? Who in this room will say that? If your children
can come to you and say, oh mom or dad, oh my father or my mother, I need a loan to go to university. I need a loan so that I can go and move out. I need a loan so that I can go buy a house. How many of you would say no? You wouldn't. You wouldn't say it for your children. Why? Because you love them, and you honor them, and you support them. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invited each and every one of us here. He invited each and every one of us here, and He says in the Quran subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, who will lend unto me a loan in goodness? So, before I ask for hands, I want the first person to put up a hand that says, I will not give unto Allah a loan in goodness. Somebody put their hand up that says, I will not give unto Allah a loan in goodness. You wouldn't. Because just like you wouldn't deny your child, just like you wouldn't deny your spouse, just like you wouldn't deny your family, how can you deny unto Allah when He is asking you to give unto Him alone? Brothers and sisters, this is our masjid. Each and every one of us has to be invested in this. I have pledged myself to do everything I can within my power. I grew up in this community. I moved back a year and a half ago with my wife and daughter. This is our community. We have to build it from bottom up. Each brick that goes in there, each parking lot that's built in there, each room that's built in there, every single one of us has to have a part in it for this project to be successful. I'm going to tell you a story that took place during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. When the Prophet ﷺ was in Mecca, he saw a man, and he said to the man, is it not time for you to accept Allah and His Messenger? And the man said, now is not the time for me. And then the Prophet ﷺ made hijrah onto Medina, and he came back and he conquered Mecca. And when the Muslims conquered Mecca, there were hundreds of people standing in line converting. And do you know which man was standing there waiting to convert? It was that man. Because the conversion before Hijrah is not like the conversion after Hijrah. And to give to this project now is not like it is when you give it to 5 years from now. This is the foundation. This is where you will lay the bricks for this to be built, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise a house of worship, and every prayer that's made in there is for you. Every dua that's made in there is for you and your children. Every single person who stands in there and says, Ya Rabbi, bless the people who built this masjid so that I can worship you in purity and say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. There are Muslims in this world right now dying because they can't fast in China. There are Muslims in this world who can't pray, who can't say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. They can't build places of worship. So don't deny unto Allah alone in goodness. Don't deny Allah what is the right of Allah, which is your wealth. It is not your wealth. Your wealth is only your wealth when you give it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm going to begin asking for hands. I know, Bismillah, there are very, very generous people in this hall. When I spoke to Mr. he said if we raised $120,000 tonight, if we raised $120,000 tonight, we would consider this a successful event. There's volunteers standing everywhere waiting to give you their pledge forms. So Bismillah, I'm looking for 2 people who are able to give $10,000 each. The first family who's going to give $10,000 each, Bismillah. Bismillah. And I'm not getting off stage until I get the money I want, because you can't eat until I get off the stage. Right? It wasn't my plan, it was their plan. They said, we're fundraising before dinner, so I'm on here. So the first family, the first generous family that's going to commit $10,000, Bismillah, MashaAllah, Allahu Akbar. May Allah bless you. What's your name, sister? What's your name? What's your name? Nosheen? MashaAllah. Everything that comes after Sister Nosheen belongs to her. Everything that comes after this belongs to her. So we may raise $200,000 and every single dollar goes to her. So don't be the one who shows miserliness after her. So So give me a second hand for $10,000. Bismillah. Bismillah, give me a second hand for $10,000. There's families in here, and I know there are, who can afford $10,000. And like I said, I'm not getting off stage until we get the money that we need. So we have our first $10,000, mashallah, that pays for the entire roof that we're going to repair. And everyone who prays under that roof, the blessings of it go to Sister Nosheen and everybody who donates after her. So can I get a second hand for $10,000? Bismillah. Bismillah. Any family in there? Anybody from Active Green? Anybody from a Shell? Anybody from any one of these places that I know, mashallah, Allah has blessed them with? Who's going to give the next $10,000? And it can be 2 or 3 brothers who can give more than $2,000 or $3,000 to contribute to the 10. So can I get a second hand for $10,000? Bismillah. Bismillah. Do we have a second hand in this place for $10,000? I am as stubborn as you are. I won't get off stage, I'm telling you right now. So give me a second hand for $10,000. MashaAllah, Allahu Akbar. May Allah bless you. It is up to Sunnah to put your hand up, but we do have a second person who's giving $10,000. So if you want to stay anonymous, there's no issues with that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, honor your lineage to come, and give you immense khair, inshallah. I've got my 2 hands. I'm going to move to an amount lesser than 10,000 that I know at least 5 families in here can do. So the first hand for $5,000, Bismillah. I'm going to ask for 5 hands for $5,000. And like I said, it can be an entire family that gives together. So if I can get the first hand, these volunteers are waiting anxiously to go and deliver the pledge cards. So give me a second hand. Give me my first hand for $5,000. Dr. Zaid Talar is looking at me like he's ready to put it up. So Bismillah. Should I count you in? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to start calling people out. Should I start doing that? Okay, we're at $25,000. I need 4 more people and 4 more families to give $5,000. To give $5,000. I asked earlier, I said, who will deny unto Allah alone in goodness? And nobody put their hand up. So when I asked, don't deny Allah alone in goodness. So give me a family that's going to give $5,000, the second family, and it can be done over the course of a year. It can be done over the course of a year. Don't feel compelled to give right now the entire $5,000. So can I get a second family that's going to give $5,000? Second family, I've got one. Where is this? I need your hand high. Very high. Who's this? Sarah Auntie. May Allah bless you. Allah bless you. Sarah Auntie is a pillar of this community. Wallahi, our women will raise us far better than our men will. We know this. This is the truth. I'm not exaggerating. The first supporter of the Prophet ﷺ was Khadija radiallahu anha. She was the first victor of Islam. These are all Khadijas, right? These are all the Khadijas in this room. May Allah bless her auntie, may Allah bless her children and her family. One of my teachers and one of the people that I learned my Islam from, so may Allah bless her. I have 2 hands at $5,000. I'm getting thirsty, but I know you're all hungry, so I'm not getting off stage until we get to our goal. Can I get the third hand for $5,000? Bismillah. Bismillah. Wallahi, I will make dua for you when I pray, so whoever it is, put your hand up. This table is coming. I'm going to start with Allahu Akbar. May Allah bless you. The families of Shell have awakened. The families of Shell have awakened. MashaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. Uncle Vegas is people who are going to give $5,000. Bismillah. Bismillah. 2 more people. 2 more people. Do I have to start looking over there again? Do I have to start asking there again? Anybody on the sister side? Anybody on? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And honor to the sister's leg. Allahu Akbar. That's 4. I need 1 more before I move on. I'm not moving on until I get another family that's going to commit to $5,000. Another family that's going to commit to $5,000. Somebody do the math for me. What's our total right now? 40,000. We're at $40,000. Khalas, no problem. Bismillah. Can I get 2 families who will give $2,500 each? I'm going to an amount that a lot of families in here I know can afford. So 2 families who are going to give $2,500 each so that we can round up this $5,000 mark. 2 families. Bismillah. Bismillah. Where's my first hand? Can I get the first hand? If your child puts their hand up, you're obliged. If your child, many of you don't put your hand up, that's my daughter. I'm just, was there another hand there? No? Okay. No problem, alhamdulillah. We got one family that's willing to give $2,500, but they don't want to reveal their name. Allah bless you. Allah honor you. May the du'as of everyone in this entire hall be with you. One more hand at $2,500. 1 more. No worries. Bismillah. I'm going to go to an amount that if each family, oh mashallah, Allahu Akbar, there we go. We have our full 5 hands for $5,000. Is there another hand? Is there another hand there?
Do you have another one?
Allahu Akbar. One of my beloved families in this community, the Mirza family, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them and honor them and give them a blessing today. Okay, I'm going to move to an amount of $1,000. We need at least 40 families in here to put their hands up. I'm going to count speed, and then I'm going to make dua for all of you after. 1, 2, Allahu Akbar. 3, Allahu Akbar. I've got 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 2,000. 5, 6, 7. Next, keep going. 8. Allahu Akbar. 9. I got 8. I counted your 9, 10. I got that. 10. Come on, keep going. 11. Allahu Akbar. Allah bless you.